One's ready. One's ready. Go!
People need to hear the real talk, Trent. We're going to speak truth to power.
Where's the power at?
I was going to make that joke immediately afterwards. Like, you have no power here. It's our podcast. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. It's Trent. It's myself. We're going to try to keep the F-bombs to a minimum. And what we're going to do here is we're going to talk about some stupid questions that we get because we want you guys to stop asking them. And you guys don't listen to the other 10 FAQ episodes that we've done where we address all of these questions. There's literally an episode called Stop Asking Us These Questions. We put it out like 2 years ago. But you don't listen. So we'll just make a new one. I do want to talk real quick about some cool partners that we have. Trent, who's your favorite partner that we have? Like, who's your go-to that you're just like, this person has changed my life thanks to becoming a partner on the podcast?
Nobody.
Nobody?
No. I mean, change your life is like a big thing, right? Like the I'm just kidding. I don't know. Hoist was like the biggest surprise. I like Cardomax.
Yeah.
Kevin obviously had a big impact on my life and the way that I view things. And
personally, that guy's choked me out. Anybody that chokes you unconscious usually makes a pretty big impact on your life. Like those people are, a handful of people, not that many. Well, I suck at jiu-jitsu, so it's actually a lot of people, but
I mean, it's I don't know. Who's your favorite partner?
It's all of them. I just like,
it's really difficult.
It is. You know, what's funny is that might be the first stupid question of the podcast was my question to you.
Wow.
So I'm keeping it in the theme, that was a little self-reflection there. I don't know. I like all of them, man. I talked about Mass yesterday. Those guys are crushing it. Like, if you need like personalized fitness stuff, Modern Athlete Strength is great. You can find all these people on our partner page, by the way. So just go over there, check the link, go to onesready.com and check it out. And they're all there. And we've got codes for everybody. I do want to give a special shout out. Our boy Vic that we had on yesterday. You guys will listen to the episode. I deployed with Vic. He's an awesome dude. I got 2 of those belts. They're coming in.
They're so nice, dude.
Need a brown belt, need one of them. I don't fly the Angel a whole lot, right? Like, obviously I have a tattoo on my arm that has the Angel on it. But I don't have a whole lot of other clothing that's like super pararescue forward, right? I do actually wish I kept my instructor shirts. I don't know why, but when I got done being an instructor, I was like, let me throw these things away.
I have a bunch of those.
Like I don't.
The polo ones, because when you have a polo with your rank on it, so I think I still have all of those for every rank as an instructor.
Yeah, I was never that cool. We never did the ranked instructor shirts. It was always just the gray shirts that said instructor on the back that I really liked from Kirtland. I didn't keep any of those, but anyway. So, yeah, I don't have a whole lot of that pararescue stuff, but I got the Guardian belt from Brand X, and I got, I can't remember the low ready. So I got those 2. So black belt, brown belt, no kidding. Fashion forward, Aaron Love. It's a big thing about me that I really like. So we're going to talk about frequently asked questions, guys, and we're going to put this out there because you guys ask them to us all the time. So we're just going to put this episode out for everybody, and then we're going to point to it when you ask us these questions. And this is not going to be nice. We're doing this episode because Trent and I are typically cynical people at heart, and these get so annoying. So we're going to start off with this one. Hey, Trent, I am over the age of 24. Do you think I have a chance in Air Force Special Warfare?
No,
just quit.
That's always the joke that we always start these with is, am I too old? Yes. And you're not going to make it. You're going to quit. Obviously, nobody over the ripe old age of 26 could ever make it through the pipeline or even do the job.
I graduated at 28 with 2 children under 2 years old, but whatever, it's fine. Yeah, I'm sure.
That's one of the things you see guys doing the job into their late 30s, and you're like, do you think I could make it through the pipeline? And it's like, well, there's dudes doing the job. So probably.
Right. So the age limit is 42, everybody. You got to be in the process by 41, right? They didn't just pick a number. They didn't just like have a dartboard or like one. I wish they had one of like the big wheels with like 200 different like choices on it, and they just spun the wheel, except in this case it wouldn't be 200 different choices. It would be 17.
They had one of those at every room in the Pentagon, actually. All the decisions that they make. Spin the wheel, bro.
That's actually pretty funny because there's no decision making going on at that building. It's just a bunch of guessing. But listen, the age limit is 42 for a reason. It's 42 because they did a whole lot of research and they were like, listen, for a bunch of different reasons, here you go. Are you going to have problems as an older guy? Yeah, because you're old. But I'll tell you, your first problem is not having the wisdom that comes along with age to answer this question for yourself. So quit asking it. If you're a little bit older, you have things that you don't recover as fast, and you need to make sure your nutrition's on point. You need to do mobility and durability, and you bring a lot of good things to the team, being an older guy, a little bit more life experience, hopefully a little bit more wisdom. But don't ask us. We don't know. The attrition rate hasn't changed in like 40 years. It's been roughly the same for 40 years. Old guys, young guys, physical specimens, people make it that weren't. You will look at a guy and you'll be like, man, there was a guy named Josh on my indoc team that we called Turtle just because he kind of looked like a turtle a little bit. Josh graduated and he was the opposite of a physical specimen. He was this wiry, not like wiry because he was in shape or he ran like marathons. He was just skinny. He was just a skinny
fat.
He was a skinny fat dude when he showed up to Indoc, and he graduated Indoc. He went on to be a pararescueman, did great things, had great missions, got awards, all of it. Like this thing is the chicken bones, man. There's a magic in the mixing that happens in special warfare assessment selection. We can't tell you. Your age certainly isn't an indicator of what it is that you can do in these career fields. And and a small aside and a small rant, neither are any of your immutable characteristics. I don't gasp. Guess what? There is nothing stopping you from getting selected at Air Force, pararescue, combat control, freaking special reconnaissance, TAC-P, special warfare officer. There's absolutely nothing stopping you. Certainly not the color of your skin or who you decide to sleep with at night. So stop asking us. We don't care. Are you a girl? Can I make it? I'm a female. Well, very few have done it, but you can go ahead and try. Like, that's the beauty of this thing. Put your packet in. Quit asking us.
Probably about the same percentage of dudes that make it, though, honestly.
It is. That'd be really interesting to look at that, because there's been such a small sample size that I bet it's probably just about the same, because there have been close. 2 at this point, but I guarantee there haven't been more than 10 that have tried. Yeah, I guarantee that.
Until you get like 1,000, tries, right. Like it's not real stats to me.
It's all statistical variance. Yeah.
Well, so here's the thing about the older guys that's annoying is like, I get it. They're trying to like make this decision and they're like, well, do older guys make it? Hey guys, doing these jobs is not, it's not the logical decision. It's not right. the play it safe move. It's not, right. It's not a good investment necessarily to go and try out for this. So if you don't have something driving you and you're like, well, I mean, do older guys make it? Like, bro, until you're willing to not ask that question, then you're not ready.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's a dumb choice for every age. So like you're literally going to upend your entire life for a coin. Like, it's not even a coin flip. It's essentially you're betting on freaking a roulette table, hoping to hit a dead number. You know what I mean? Like, it's not good. It's not good odds, bud. I don't know what to tell you.
It's not even black and red. Like, you're on 6.
I think technically, since it's 36-1, it would be putting in between 4 numbers, because you can bet on 4 numbers in roulette. I think technically that is the mathematically accurate chance that you got. You've got one $5 chip, and you're going to put it down on one of the 36 numbers. There's 9 numbers in there there is 9, different 4 ways that you can put on those 36 numbers. You have to hit that one off. Oh, and by the way, you're going to bet your life on it. It's going to cost you 4 to 6 years of your life if you're wrong. So have fun.
Yeah. But here's another thing. If you don't make it and you go into the Air Force, you still have the opportunity to do some pretty rad stuff. And that is almost 100% based on your attitude. So there you go.
You can go back. If you're not a douchebag, you can go back.
I don't want to be in the regular Air Force. Then don't try out. Go away.
Don't try out. Trent, I'm having a real problem deciding between Green Berets and Navy SEALs and Army Rangers. And I was really thinking about SR, but then like SR and PJ was also kind of like piquing my interest. Which one should I pick?
By the way, they spelled peak wrong when they said piquing my interest.
They did. It's PEAK. You spell
you piqued my interest.
My interest is at the height of the mountain. It's at the peak. That's not what that statement is. This is just a dumb tangent. We'll get to the question in a second. I always lean into sayings that people get completely wrong. Like, they use sayings incorrectly because they don't even know the whole saying. My boy hit me up and he thought, because I mentioned it on the War Room podcast, I was talking about, sayings that people use that just aren't correct because they don't know the second half of the statement. And he hit me up and he was like, hey man, I was thinking about, and it was Bobby Aller. So I'm going to talk like Bobby Aller. He's like, hey man, I was thinking about that statement thing that you said the other night. And the one about, the blood of the womb, blood is thicker than water. And I was like, yeah, Bobby, that entire statement is that the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, which means that the blood that you forge, the blood bond that you have with your brothers, like when you literally have a blood oath with somebody that is outside of your family, that connection means more than just the fact that you came from the same womb. So blood is thicker than water. People get that mixed up all the time. They say blood is thicker than water to mean, oh, well, my family has to come between everybody else because blood is thicker than water. That's not what that saying is. The saying is, in fact, the complete opposite. Those people that you forge bonds with, especially like in the military. You know, I've had fallings out. There's family members that I don't talk to, unfortunately, anymore for a bunch of different life reasons. But there's brothers that I made in the military, these friends through the blood of the covenant, literal blood, sweat, and tears, that I would never just cut out of my life and be like, no, man, we can't not, you know, there's folks that I know that there's no way that I would just let go silent with me. Like, of course you grow apart from some people, and of course you don't talk to people as much as possible anymore. But like you, Peaches, you know, Mike, Shane, these friends of mine that are so close to me that there's no way that I would ever think to just be like, all right, well, we just don't talk anymore because we had a fight. I'd be like, nah, bitch, you got me for life. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm in your life, homie.
I decided that we are friends forever. All right. It's the family you choose really is what that saying comes down to,
right.
You know?
Right. So little side quest aside, back to the question.
Yeah.
How do you choose between, let's keep it between the SpecWar career fields, because that's what we can speak on there, right? So people are having trouble deciding between PJ and CCT and SR and officer and enlisted and all this other stuff. Why is that a dumb question?
Because it doesn't matter. Like, which one speaks to you? You know, like, I can't answer that question for you. I don't know which one is going to get you into more firefights or into more of whatever it is that you want to do. And at the end of the day, when we're all working together, when we're all at the 2 series units and we're all in the same team room, I don't care. Like, there's PJs that are really good at SR stuff. There's SR guys that are actually pretty good at medical and a lot of the airfield stuff. It doesn't matter. Like, you're going to be there. You're going to be doing the job. There's going to be more job than what you can handle 100% of the time, and you're going to be busy. So there you go. And you get to wear a funny hat and walk around with your bros all the time. And it's pretty rad.
It is. Yeah. And by the way, there's no way that we can guide you through this. Like, I love getting a DM that's like a novel. It's like 750 words long of like explaining their entire backstory and why they think that PJ is right for them. There is no way that I could explain it to you. I can't put you inside of my head and have you understand intimately what being a PJ meant to me. Right. And the other thing that I almost always tell people when they're asking for this advice, they're like, oh, well, you know, I don't know if I want to do CCT or PJ. Like, bro, you're asking me to give you a decision that's going to affect you for 4 years of your life at a minimum. Yeah. At a minimum. You might not even get picked up. So we already addressed it, but you're probably going to fail. You're most likely going to quit. And then you're going to, if you do by some grace of God, get it, like make selection through selection and assessment, then you're going to go on a pipeline and it's going to be a completely different experience. If I was like, oh yeah, man, PJ is the best job of all time and you should definitely be a PJ as opposed to a combat controller. And then the entire world changes on a dime when you're somewhere in the pipeline and you find out through talking to these combat control, you know, instructors and getting, you know, knowledge of the career field. You're like, oh, wow, I made the wrong decision. Then I own part of that decision. Like, how can I possibly give you that advice?
But how do you know? Like, even during GWAT, it's like being a SAU-T at certain fobs was better than being a controller at certain fobs. You know, like, depending on what you're looking for, it's so dynamic. It's so stupid. I ended up here on accident. I don't know why I'm here. You know, like, it's not like I was like, oh, I didn't grow up being like, I'm going to be a special operations weather guy and special reconnaissance. Like, it wasn't a thing. And you just kind of end up where you're supposed to end up. And that the thing is, I've heard so many people come back and be like, dude, I washed out of this pipeline, ended up over here. And actually, this is where I really thrive.
Yeah. Morgan Houston. We talked about it on the Discord. And go check out the Discord. It's awesome, where you can answer a lot of these questions and hopefully get your own answers so you don't have to ask us and we don't have to make another episode. I love Peaches big time in it. Peaches, let's we're gonna get you up to speed real quick. We're asking dumb questions. We're doing a stop asking us dumb questions. This one is not a members only. We're going to put this one out to the general public so that people hear it. So we've been really good about not cursing. We even did an ad read at the beginning, which is going to make people mad. I'm hoping this entire episode people internalize and make mad. So you're caught up.
Yeah. So Jared, did you become a combat controller so you could join the CIA afterwards? I'm just Just curious.
Yeah, I had a whole
I'm
plan.
assuming.
I was going to do FBI first and then CIA, but I was
Right.
a special tactics officer. Like I was going to go enlisted, special tactics officer, FBI officer, or agent, and then and so on. It's the normal progression.
Right. Yeah. No, that's really smart. Yeah. I just want to. So I was going to do it a little bit differently. I was going to do Army infantry for a little bit just to really get like a good idea of what the regular forces were like. But here's the thing, at basic training, somebody from the unit pulled me out. I was only 4 weeks into basic training in the Air Force, and they were like, Aaron, you've got to come to Langley right now. And I was like, all right, man, I got to go. So I answered the call.
I mean, hey, thank you for your service.
Yeah, no problem.
Your drill instructors were like, it makes sense.
Yeah. The drill instructors were like, man, thank goodness this guy was too good for Air Force basic training. They were about to put me into Beast Week. They were going to have me run it, actually. They were asking me to be a guest instructor out when they started Beast Week. I don't even think they have that anymore. What do they call it now, Trent?
Pacer Forge.
Pacer Forge? All right. Hold on. I got a podcast dog.
No, Aaron was talking about, too, like the people that ask questions that are in paragraphs. And I just want to remind people again, I try to give you the mentorship that I think you need. And so if you write me a novel, I will leave you in the request bin in Instagram forever. I will not, because I don't think walking you through all of the...
Hold on. I actually have a question here. You check the DMs on Instagram?
Not on the One's Ready one. No, just on mine. Yeah.
Never. If there's ever a question for Trent, we have to text him directly to ask him to engage.
And you guys are usually trying to screw me over. You're like, hey, this guy asked specifically for you, and I go read it. I'm like, I'm not engaging with that.
I've started giving him your personal. I'd give out your fucking home number if I could.
When it shows up in requests and there's like, 4, they're like, hey man, I got one quick question. And then it's 4 pages of ridiculous rambling and story time. I'm like, do you know what you need right now? You need someone to ignore you. So,
right. You need to figure this out on your own. Peaches, what we were talking about for this specific question before we move on to the next one was when people ask us, hey, I'm thinking between CCT and PJ and SR and whatever else. How do I decide between them? My take on it was that I can't possibly give you I can't give you that mentorship. Like if you can't figure this out for your own, or if one of the career fields you don't connect with, first of all, I'm going to pay a penalty of you making that decision with my input and then spending 4 years of your life chasing this bad boy down. Like that's a pretty big ask for us. So what advice would you give to people that are in that space that are like, oh, I don't know if I want to be a PJ or a CCT or SR. They seem all cool. What would you say to those people? Because it's a dumb question.
As a serious question or a fake, like sarcastic?
Well, no, I mean, we're serious, but the theme of the episode is stop asking this question. Figure it out.
Okay. Our guest did just text me and said he's ready to go.
Oh, tight. So, okay.
But I will say, like to close out that question is take a serious look at what the mission set is. Like if you're like, I want to be a PJ, but like the thought of needles or blood or doing medicine and having your, being elbows and guts up the elbows and guts, isn't
just
appealing.
3 inches for Jared, by the way.
Yeah. Little torso.
It's just because, everything on him is short. Hey-o.
Probably don't go PJ. But if like you like aircraft, you like things blowing up, probably CCT, right? Like, I mean, it's if you like flying things and doing, obscure stuff, then SR is the way to go. Like, you just got to figure out what kind of calls to you and then go for there. And if it's kicking down doors and Ranger, like that's the way to go.
Or just save everybody some time and go security forces.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I got a podcast dog and a podcast baby and a podcast wife at this point. It's actually pretty good. It's okay. Love you guys. I know it's because I had a podcast dog. What are some other dumb questions that we get? So we'll go pretty quick. He big timed us by shifting us left so we can figure this out here. So tell him to give us 5 minutes. Trent, what's a dumb question that you wish people would stop asking?
Man, now that we're talking about it, now I'm thinking about the guest, and I can't think of any more dumb questions. They're all so ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, how many miles should I run per week? How many pull-ups should I be able to do? All the physical prep questions that are so, kind of just out there. They're like, well, I mean, I'm running like 40 miles a week. Like, how many pull-ups should I be able to do? Like, guys, you need to be able to crush the IFT. Like, yeah, I don't know how many times we need to say it. We have an insane amount of content from experts on how to run how to get better at all these things, how to increase your aerobic capacity. So don't come at me in the DMs and be like, well, like I'm doing 40 push-ups. How do I get more? It's like, I don't know, bro. I'm an idiot. Do more push-ups, you know?
Yeah. And let me, so remind me to talk about delaying shipping, because I'm going to hit this rant and then I'll hit the delaying shipping thing. Listen, the thing that you guys are missing out there when you ask us about like, oh, what numbers should I hit? Whatever. I don't care about your training numbers. I care about your training volume. I don't care that you can wake up rested in the beginning of a day and crush an IFT one time. I do not care. I care that you can do that 3 times in one day, back to back to back. So if your training volume, if you're found, like if you get up and you crush that IFT, but you're smoked and you were sore for 2 days because you did a single IFT, you're not ready. So like, that just is what it is, right? Like when these people are like, oh yeah, I've been doing so much training and I'm so good. And, you know, they do an IFT and they puke at the end of it. And you're like, bro, you're not ready, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, there's a difference. The training volume is way more important than an individual number where you're rested, because that's what we're going to ask you to do. The numbers are what the numbers are. During durability week at Special Warfare Assessment Selection, you're running a marathon a day. People forget this, and we tell them all the time. You're running to lunch, you're running to the schoolhouse, you're running to the dorms, you're literally running everywhere that you go. And if you're with a buddy, you're running and you're singing and you're having a good time, right? But you're running 20 to 25 miles every single day. You have programmed runs, the runs in between stuff when you're running the obstacle course. If you're not approaching that training volume in your training, I don't care what your IFT numbers are. I don't care how many push-ups you can do. I care if you can do 1,000 push-ups in 2 hours. Because I'm going to make you do that. I'm going to make you do extended period. And then, by the way, the next morning, you might have to get up and do an evaluation, because it's like every single day, instructors have a very short memory. The second that they go to sleep, they wake up the next day and they're like, well, it's a new training day. I don't care what you did yesterday. I don't care if you're sore. Your training volume is way more important than those numbers. The other question that we get all the time, and I don't know why, but I've gotten like 3 of them this week. June 16th, folks are starting to get ready to ship out. And I think Guardian Grit is doing like a pre-shipper sort of meeting. I think I'm going to try to be involved in that if I can make it work with the schedule. But I had like 2 or 3 people hit me up and they were like, hey, here's my numbers. I'm not feeling like I'm ready. Should I delay my shipping? Bro.
Yes, indefinitely.
Yeah, do it until you feel ready. And then let me know when that is. It's like having kids. No one is ever ready to have children. You are never ready to get married. You are never ready to buy a house. You are never ready to do a new job. You are never ready to do any of these things. The only thing that you could do worse is delay that decision, and for some unachievable standard where you're going to feel ready to get into the Air Force Special Warfare pipelines. It just doesn't exist. I didn't think I was ready to be a troop chief. I didn't think I was ready to be a team leader. I didn't think I was ready to be a senior master sergeant. I didn't think I was ready. Sometimes going out on missions, we would get a mission drop and I'd be like, holy shit, am I going to be able to do this? Like, this is a complex mission and everything depends on me doing my job perfectly or this mission fails. Like, it never ends. So when people are out there and they're like, well, I don't know, man, my runtime's good and I'm passing and I'm feeling pretty good, but I just don't know if I'm ready. Like, you guys said that, you know, we should be hitting like these numbers and I'm not there. Should I tell my recruiter to wait? Bro, first of all, the pipeline is meant to take you from where you are now. The IFT, if you can pass the IFT, and again, there's no big wheel at the Pentagon where we just came up with some dumb numbers and we're like, how many pull-ups? I don't know, 8 sounds good. How many push-ups? 55? Yeah, 55 is about right. They got those numbers because that's what they need from a baseline. If you can do that IFT, the pipeline is built off the IFT to go, if this is your starting point, we can get you to the end point.
Yeah.
With coaching and guidance and human performance and strength and conditioning coaches and psychologists and everybody that's there to help you get to that level. That's how the pipeline is built. If you can do the IFT numbers, delaying your shipping for some magical standard, even a standard that we came up with. Like, of course, we did the episode on, hey, these are about the numbers that I look at and I'm like, you have a high chance of success, right? That doesn't mean anything. There's hear it from us. Like, that was just our guess as dudes that have seen a couple thousand students go through and see what makes people successful and not. And we can tell you that run times, if you have a really fast run time, you have a way better chance of graduating. You just do. Really fast run time, really fast swim time. That's it. There you go. And for whatever reason, treading. They did a lot of study over like 20 years where like if you were if you could tread really well, you had a way better chance of going, because that was a good indicator of water confidence in general, of your ability. Fast run time, fast swim time, treading. Those three things right there, I can tell you for sure, correlate, not causate, correlate to a higher graduation rate through the selection models we have today.
Because it's a lot of in between time, right? Like to get somewhere, what are you doing? You're running. Or you're swimming, or in between. If the cadre have something to put out, they're like, okay, tread while we talk about this next thing or whatever. Like it's just all those things that can crush you, and they're like longer period of time, events. If you're good at those, the rest of it, you have the bandwidth, the capability, the capacity to put out. Like if you're not great at cows, like you can be crushed after cows, but then when we run back to the dorms or wherever we're going, you have that recovery time, even though you're still running, because you're a really good runner.
Right. Exactly. You can run that 8-minute pace is recovery. If you're running at if you're struggling to get down to a 7-minute pace just to pass an IFT, you're going to be crushed running just an 8-minute pace going places. Like that's really not that much. But if you can easily run a 6-minute mile, that 8-minute pace, you're like, oh, thank goodness I get to rest here while everybody else is struggling and like running through jello. We'll end with this one so that we can get to our guest. The guest is going to be awesome too, by the way. Awesome dude. A lot of impact on why it is that we do things the way that we do now for selection and assessment. It's going to be great. I'll end with this one. Trent, why should I pick SpecWar? When people want us to tell them, oh, well, why SpecWar? Why not the Army? Why not the Navy?
Because we're better.
We're just better.
We get to work with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. And our guest yesterday was talking about it, how we have touch points with all the sister service folks and all that other stuff. We've talked about it here before, but like there's not a lot of Rangers rolling around, just doing random training with all the Air Force guys and everybody else. Like it's not like the Rangers are really good at what they do, but we kind of get a flavor of everybody, and we get to see what everybody does, and we get to pick up their best practices. And we have like just a bigger picture view of how everything works, and just by being the Air Force guys. But
yeah,
if you want to go kick indoors and shoot people in the face and all that other stuff, go be a Ranger. Like I don't care if you're a SpecWar or not. I really don't.
Nope.
If you want to go write a book, go be a Navy SEAL. Like
nice. Yeah, if you want to be highly corrupt and kill your teammate like they did with Joe Price, go be a SEAL. They love that shit over there. Yeah, for me, man, like it is just better. Quality of life in the Air Force is better, even if you don't make Air Force Special Warfare. And then when you get to Special Warfare, the quality of life, that's the baseline from the Air Force, right? And then when you get to Special Warfare, it's even better because it's better on the soft side of the house. It just is. You get more money, you get cooler trips. You get to, in 1 year, like one calendar year, I worked with Army teams, Navy teams, Norwegian teams, Polish teams. I worked with the 160th. We jumped out of Navy aircraft. We worked with the Coast Guard. We went up and like worked with their rescue swimmers. That was just one training year. And you're going and you're and that's just one dude. My teams were going over to Israel to work with the Israeli PJs. They were doing all of these other things. And now that I said Israel, this podcast is going to get nuked from orbit.
Canceled.
Thanks. Anyway, USS Liberty, look it up. Anyway, so you get to go out and touch all of these touch points. You get to go and see all of these different people, and your team is doing the same thing. You have controllers that get back to your unit and be like, yeah, dude, I just deployed with an Army Green Beret team, and here's how they did tactics. And you're like, oh, well, that's cool. I work with the Norwegians and they did this, or I worked with the Icelandic Coast Guard, and this is how they did their water recoveries. And we did it in super cold water in Iceland. All of these things are super valuable, and you get that opportunity in the Air Force like nowhere else. Nobody else is doing that. Nobody else is putting teams out. Like ask any operator, because for whatever reason, the people that follow us seem to talk to like every time I talk to somebody, they're like, oh, well, I got this friend that was a combat controller and he said this. Ask them when the last time that they had like one Ranger come over and train with them for 3 weeks. It just doesn't happen. We do it all the time. They don't do it with us. So there you go.
The best part about us is like we get both sides. Like we get to sleep in the dirt, and we also get to go to the 5-star resorts. Like
oh yeah,
it's both things, and so it's really
that's
cool.
A joke for a reason, by the way, because we do that because that's how cool we are. Like yeah, we do. Like man, being a TAC P dude living out with the Army, that's all cool. But at the end of the day, you get to go back to your very nice hotel, and you get to go back, and you get taken care of by people that actually care. And, for people out there, like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on June 1st, but for the straight dudes out there, Air Force girls are pretty hot. I know a lot of guys that, go to the hospital, and they end up marrying the chick that was checking them in for their med appointment because she's pretty good looking. So, and also this is okay to say on June 1st, a lot of hot dudes, lots and lots of hot guys in Air Force Special Warfare. Shout out to my boy, Hot Kyle. He's the hottest guy I ever worked with. I love that guy. He's so good looking. He's so good at his job. It made me so mad. Oh man.
Yeah.
Funny story will end on Hot Kyle. We worked with a guy. I won't say what unit. He's still in. His name was Kyle, and he was Hot Kyle. He had like a full sleeve leg tattoo, super jacked, super strong, super good at his job. And all of us just constantly talked about Hot Kyle. So we get the entire team together for this party. And the wives like literally pulled like all of us aside. They were like, the wives were in the kitchen, because this is how team parties work, right? The dudes are outside drinking beers in order to get a wizard staff, and the chicks are inside, and they're all sitting, like all the wives are sitting around playing with kids and stuff. You know, great time, team party. And the wives pull us aside and they're like, hey, which one is Hot Kyle? And we're like, that's Hot Kyle right there. One of the wives had the audacity to say that he wasn't that hot. I've never seen a team come together faster in my life to absolutely tell her she was wrong. Be like, you should see how much he lifts. He can sled pull like 600 pounds, and he's so good at his job. Like, that guy is so hot.
Yeah. There's always that guy. That's really annoying.
It is annoying. All right, that feels like a good one. So we're gonna get on with this guest here, and we're gonna talk about some other stuff. But stop asking these questions. Old guys that can't figure it out, 17, 18-year-old dudes and dudettes that are wondering like, oh, I grew up poor and I lived in my car, and I don't see a lot of people like me in Air Force Special Warfare, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, and I don't know what job I have, and I don't even know if I want to work for the Air Force. Just quit it. Get in or don't. Try or don't. It's fine. You don't have to do this. We're not asking you to. You have to volunteer to do it. Like, I'm not telling you to do these things. Yeah, we need you. Yeah, we'd love to have you, especially if you're a good teammate. But I'm not here to convince you. We're not here to convince you. We're just here to give you the information, and hopefully you make the right choice. But please stop asking us these questions. I beg of you.
Oh no, I might end up doing something amazing and hanging out with the greatest people in the world.
I may make lifelong friends that end up marrying me and being my best man at my wedding, which is a true story from me, and guys that I've talked to every single day and that I love, absolutely love, because the blood of the covenant is thicker than water of the womb. Look at that little wrap up. There
it is. That was nice.
Have a great time, everybody. See you next time. Make sure to follow us everywhere. Hit the link tree. There's a whole bunch of good stuff in there. It's on the YouTube. It's on the One's Ready homepage. It's on the Instagram account. If you got anything that you guys want to know from our partners, to training programs, to how it is that you get in touch with us, hit that link tree. It's the one. We're done here.
Train hard.